After a long hiatus for anomaly units, Vivian is our newest and first Ether Anomaly character to come out in version 1.7. If I could describe Vivian's playstyle, it's very similar to Bernice, where you have to manage her stacks to allow her to deal damage off-field. This video is going to guide you through the ins and outs of their kit and how to maximize their damage. We'll be talking about their setups, best build, and most importantly, their teams. Make sure to watch the combat portion of the video at the end, as it'll give you a good understanding on how to play this character. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Now, on with the video. When Vivian's Feather Bloom attack hits an enemy that is suffering from an anomaly, she will trigger a bloom. To put it into perspective, a bloom is like a weaker version of Yanagi's Disorder, which is also a weaker version of Disorder. The main difference is that a bloom's damage type is based on the element that is currently activated. So if the enemy is inflicted with shock, then a bloom deals electric damage. If the enemy is inflicted with burn, then a bloom deals fire damage. A bloom deals a percentage of additional attribute anomaly damage based on the element that the enemy currently has. The additional damage varies between elements and scales with every 10 points of AP. Additionally, when Vivian hits an enemy with her suspension attack, she will inflict Vivian's Prophecy. This debuff causes the enemy to take ether damage over time. If this sounds familiar, this is because it's exactly like Bernice's fire passive, but better. It consistently damages the enemy without needing the player, and most importantly, it procs attribute disorders and anomalies on its own. For her team passive, whenever a squad member applies an attribute anomaly, Vivian will consume one guard feather to launch Feather Bloom on the enemy. Additionally, corruption damage and corruption status damage dealt by all squad members is increased by 12%. To activate this passive, you need another anomaly character or the same attribute in your team. Vivian is an off-field unit, so we'll be focusing on her setup. If you look at her gauge, you'll see two different symbols, flight feathers and guard feathers. Vivian can obtain flight feathers with these specific moves: Basic 5, Assist Follow-Up, EX Special, and of course her chain attacks and ultimate.
Notice me, Lord.
Keep these moves in mind, as you'll be needing to keep her stacks in check for Vivian to keep dealing damage. After using Vivian's third basic, she will gain a flight feather and start floating. We'll call this the floating state. If you basic again, she will consume one flight feather and turn it into a guard feather. Guard feathers are what triggers her bloom attacks. Keep in mind that you can swap out while Vivian is in the floating state, and she will still do her fifth basic. For W engines, her signature, Flight of Fancy, is her best in slot. Its bonuses are the following: an increase to anomaly build-up rate by 40%, and when the wearer deals ether damage, their AP increases by 20 up to 6 times. Her second best is actually very close, so if you don't want to pull for her signature, then Weeping Gemini is going to be her second best. Third is going to be Electro Lip Gloss, fourth is Rainforest Gourmet, and finally Fusion Compiler is last. Vivian's kit just wants AP and doesn't even ask for attack, but it's still good to have. Gourmet is better than Fusion Compiler in this instance because a max level Gourmet gives her 75 AP, while at most, Fusion Compiler will only give her 25 AP. Vivian's Mindscapes are fairly powerful, so let's get started. Her M1 allows Vivian to gain 1 flight feather after 4 guard feathers are consumed. Additionally, while under Vivian's Prophecy, all attribute anomaly and disorder damage is increased by 16%. Her M2 increases Vivian's build-up rate by 25%, and the AP scaling from a bloom is increased by 30%. A bloom also ignores 15% of the enemy's attribute resistance. Vivian's M4 allows her suspension and feather bloom attacks to always crit and increase her attack by 12%. She will additionally gain 5 guard feathers instead of 2 at the start of a battle. And finally, her M6 will give the following: an increase to her ether damage by 40%, certain attacks will also gain a flight feather, and finally, suspension will consume all guard feathers and trigger a special bloom. Each guard feather will increase the damage dealt by that instance up to 5 times. And for the usual question, Mindscape or signature? I'm going to have to say signature for this one, as while we do have a good alternative with Weeping Gemini, special benefits like Anomaly Buildup is super rare right now, and the extra 120 AP is too good to pass. For the build, 4-piece Melody with 2-piece AP is going to be your best. For stats, hard focus on AP and some attack percent. For 4 to 6, I recommend AP, ether damage over attack percent, and finally Anomaly Mastery. For teams, we are going to change it up this time. If you prefer this way, let me know in the comments. So, I've been testing every team I could think of and made a list which I will put on screen. Here are the times that I clocked in against the level 65 Hot Tea boss in Shiyu Defense. Now I know what you're gonna say, why not the hardest level? Well, I wanted to, but the first half has an electric weak enemy, so Yanagi would destroy that and it would be unfair. Same goes for the second half where the enemy is resistant to physical, and again Yanagi would just destroy it and it would be unfair. This is a Vivian specific team, so I chose the Ether Weak Hot Tea for the tests. Now, I'm sure you already noticed this, but Yanagi with Vivian is much faster than Jane with Vivian, and here's why. To trigger a bloom, you need to do one of the following: land an EX special, or trigger a natural disorder. Yanagi's personal disorder does not count. Therefore, the character and even teams that can spam their EX specials more often will trigger more bloom. That's especially why the team with Nicole is slightly faster than the team with Astra on both sides. More EX specials and a little bonus from Nicole's passive. Also no, Bernice and Vivian aren't good together. While Vivian's and Bernice's dot have synergy, it's not worth it to try to manage and balance both of their resources at the same time while dealing minimal damage. Maybe if there was a unit that helps with energy or deals good damage with anomalies, then maybe. And that's about it. Vivian is a very fun unit that I didn't think I wanted. While her gameplay is a little clunky, it more than makes up for it in its damage output. I'm glad we're getting similar units like Bernice to help with element typing. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
The final act begins now.
Notice me, lure me. This song is dedicated to the world.
Wanna know what lurks in the darkness? Careful. I bite. I know what lurks in the darkness.
Who dares get between me and Lord Fate?
Here's a taste of the abyss.
In pursuit.
Yep.
I'll eat everything!
Yep. Waste of time.
Notice me, lure me. the attack.
Such provocations don't go unanswered.
Resistance acute. Waste of time. In pursuit. Out of my sight. See your heart's reflecting. Catch you in the next life. Press the attack. Who dares get between me and Lord Fate? In pursuit. Enemy touching 6 shall pay.